The doorbell rang at 2:17 p.m., sharp and insistent, slicing through the quiet afternoon like an accusation I wasn't ready to hear. I froze in the kitchen, coffee mug halfway to my lips, my heart slamming against my ribs. It was the technician. I'd called him yesterday about the glitchy security camera in the living room, the one that kept flickering out during the nights Sarah worked late. But in the rush of morning chaos, packing lunches and herding our son, Tommy, off to school, I'd forgotten to tell her. Or him. God, what if she was home early? What if this was the moment everything unraveled? I set the mug down too hard, the ceramic clinking like a warning, and hurried to the door. Mr. Ellis? Here to fix the cam, the guy said, toolbox in hand, his voice gruff but professional. He was mid-40s, balding, with a name tag that read Mike. I nodded, leading him inside, my mind racing. Sarah had texted me an hour ago. Stuck at the office, client meeting running long. Pick up Tommy? Love you. Routine. Normal. But lately nothing felt normal. The late nights, the whispered phone calls she brushed off as work stress, the way her eyes darted away when I asked about her day. Suspicion had been gnawing at me for weeks, a quiet poison seeping into our marriage. I pushed it down like always. Denial was easier than the truth. Mike fiddled with the camera mounted above the fireplace, wires spilling out like exposed nerves. These models glitch sometimes, he muttered. Interference, maybe. I'll reset it and check the feed. Tommy was at soccer practice until 4, so the house was empty. Perfect timing, I thought. But as Mike worked, I paced the room, glancing at the family photos on the mantel. Sarah and me on our wedding day. Her laugh frozen in time. Tommy as a toddler clinging to her leg. We were happy once. Weren't we? The doubt twisted in my gut, a familiar ache. All set, Mike said after 20 minutes packing up. I pulled the recent footage to test it. Want me to show you? I hesitated. The camera recorded in loops, overwriting every 48 hours unless saved. What harm could it do? Sure, I replied, my voice steadier than I felt. He handed me his tablet, the app open to the timeline. Just hit play on the clips. I waited until he left, the door clicking shut behind him like a finality. Alone now, I sank into the couch, thumb hovering over the screen. Why was my hand shaking? It was just a camera fix. But something pulled me in, a whisper of intuition. Or maybe paranoia. I scrolled back to last night. Sarah had come home around 11 p.m., claiming a deadline crunch. I'd been asleep, Tommy tucked in. The footage started grainy, the living room bathed in the soft glow of the lamp we'd left on. There she was, slipping through the front door, her coat draped over one arm. But she wasn't alone. A man followed her in, tall, dark-haired, his hand brushing her lower back in a way that screamed intimacy. My breath caught, denial surging like a wave. No. This had to be a client, a colleague. They talked in low voices, the audio picking up fragments. Missed you. From him, her laugh. That soft, genuine one I hadn't heard in months. She turned to him and they kissed. Not a peck. A deep, hungry kiss that made my stomach lurch. I paused the video, staring at the frozen image. Heartbreak hit first, a raw, tearing pain in my chest, like someone had reached in and squeezed. Who was he? How long? I rewound, forcing myself to watch again, searching for clues. His face familiar? Wait, that jawline, the way he carried himself. Mark. Her boss. The one she'd gushed about at dinners, so innovative, so driven. Suspicion solidified into anger, hot and bubbling. How could she? After 12 years, after Tommy, after everything we'd built? But I kept watching, the suspense building like a storm. They moved to the couch, the same one I sat on now. Clothes came off in hurried whispers. We shouldn't, she said, but her hands betrayed her, pulling him closer. Tom's asleep upstairs, he murmured, and she shushed him with a kiss. Tommy. Our son. The betrayal deepened, slicing through the denial. This wasn't a one-time mistake, it was calculated, right under our roof. I fast-forwarded through the intimacy, while rising in my throat. They dressed quickly after, her checking her phone, probably for my texts. He left first, a quick peck at the door. She lingered, fixing her hair in the mirror, her expression. Guilty? Relieved? I couldn't tell. Then she headed upstairs as if nothing happened. The clip ended, but my mind replayed it in loops. Anger gave way to a hollow grief. Why? Was I not enough? Work had consumed me too, the promotions, the long hours to provide for us. But I'd never strayed. Trust, our foundation, crumbled like sand. I thought of Tommy, oblivious, kicking a ball on the field right now. How do you tell a 10-year-old his world is breaking? I saved the footage, my fingers numb. Confrontation loomed, but first I needed air. I stepped outside, the autumn wind biting, leaves swirling like my thoughts. Subtle clues flooded back. The new perfume she said was a gift from a friend. The weekend team-building trip where her phone went straight to voicemail. The way she'd pull away from my touch, citing exhaustion. I'd denied it all, clinging to the illusion of our perfect family. But now evidence stared back, undeniable. By the time I picked up Tommy, I composed myself, barely. How was practice, bud? I asked, forcing a smile as he climbed into the car, dirt-streaked and grinning. Awesome. Scored 2 goals. His enthusiasm pierced me. I forgot to tell him about the technician. Hell, I forgot to breathe properly. At home, Sarah arrived around 6, kissing my cheek like always. Rough day? She asked, noticing my tension. You could say that. My voice was tight, suspicion lacing every word. Dinner was torture, natural dialogue masking the storm. How was the meeting? I probed, watching her face. Fine. Boring client stuff. She avoided my eyes, focusing on Tommy's story about school. Anger simmered. I wanted to scream, but not in front of him. After bedtime stories, Tommy asleep, I cornered her in the kitchen. We need to talk. I pulled out the tablet, hitting play without preamble. Her face drained of color as the footage rolled. Denial flickered then collapsed. It just happened. Mark. He understands the pressure at work. You and we've been drifting. Drifting. Heartbreak choked me. That's your excuse? In our home with our son upstairs. Tears stung my eyes, anger roaring. How long? 6 months. The admission hung heavy, her motivations spilling out. Loneliness, feeling unseen, the thrill of something new. Understandable? Maybe in the cold logic of a failing marriage. But painful got so painful. She cried too, reaching for me, but trust was shattered. I'm sorry, she whispered. I love you. We can fix this. I shook my head, the collapse final. No. Not this time. The words tore from me, leaving a void. That night, I slept on the couch, the camera's red light blinking like an accusatory eye. In the morning, I told Tommy, gently vaguely about mommy and daddy needing space. His confusion mirrored my own heartbreak. We packed bags, heading to my sister's. Closure came in waves. Divorce papers, custody talks, the slow rebuild. But reflection lingered. How love erodes unnoticed, how betrayal hides in plain sight. I never forgot that technician's visit. It fixed more than a camera. It exposed the truth we'd both ignored.